I happened to be in Oud West for an appointment the other day, and while cycling around, I ended up on Hoofdweg. This street was interesting because of the mix of different travel modes and the way the space was used. And the more I stared at the street, the more interesting it looked, so I kept filming it. I was going to use some of this footage in my recent Strodes video, but it didn't make the cut, but I'm including it here now so that you can stare at the street too. Yay! It occurred to me that this street was really wide, so I checked it when I got home, and yeah, it's 30 meters wide, including the sidewalk. That's huge. I thought maybe this was one of those Amsterdam streets that was previously canal that was filled in, but it turns out it was just built this wide from the start in 1920. I'm not really sure why. Before that, it was just a polder. And of course, the street was pretty much a strode in the 1970s because the streets in Amsterdam were pretty bad between the 1950s and 1990s. Though admittedly, this photo was taken farther along where it's not as nice as the spot I was filming. Anyway, despite the width, it still felt quite comfortable when I was there, and obviously it was very safe to cycle along as well. Each side of this street has 2.5-meter sidewalks, a 2-meter protected bicycle path, bicycle parking, car parking, a single-car travel lane, and a dedicated transit right-of-way. At intersections, the car parking is removed to allow space for pedestrian islands. You can see how easy it is to cross the street here, and no signals are necessary. Pedestrians only ever need to cross one car lane or one bicycle path at a time, and there are big gaps between the vehicles and the transit lane, so that part's easy to cross too. And of course, there are continuous sidewalks along the side streets, which also makes walking safe and pleasant. I was here on a Sunday, but there were still trams and buses constantly going by. With the dedicated transit lane, plus the protected bicycle paths, this street can move a lot of people during rush hour. It was already moving a lot of people on a Sunday afternoon. I was curious to see what a road this width would look like in my hometown. It actually took me a while to find because 30 meters is really wide, even for a suburban strode. Anyway, here's an example of one that I found that's interesting. This strode has sidewalks, a painted bicycle gutter, and then 5 lanes of motor vehicle traffic, 2 lanes in each direction plus a center turning lane. There's a bus stop here, so this has public transportation access as well. So on paper, it's the same as Hoofdweg in Amsterdam. It has space for pedestrians, cyclists, public transportation, and motor vehicles. In Canada, they would probably call this a complete street because it accommodates all users. But what a difference in design. The sidewalk is narrower, the bicycle lane is dangerous, and public transit vehicles are stuck in traffic with cars. There are no street trees because they're not allowed in the clear zone, and there are 5 motor vehicle lanes to cross, so nobody is able to cross this street safely. According to estimates by NACTO, the National Association of City Transportation Officials, the Amsterdam design would be able to move anywhere from 3 to 5 times as many people as the example in London. And despite the fact that the Metro London region has about 1/5 the population of Amsterdam, this street is constantly full at rush hour. As a result, the city is planning its largest road project ever to expand this road to 7 lanes, which is going to make this place even worse than it already is. I don't even know how to express how insane this stuff is. This street in Amsterdam is better than the London example in literally every way. It moves more people, it's safer, it's pleasant for cyclists and pedestrians, it's prettier, and it's more financially sustainable. How do you even begin to explain this to people in North America? The people in London are so car dependent and so far removed from good street design that you could never suggest this as a solution to their traffic congestion issues. So my hometown is going to go further in debt to finance their largest road project of all time while making the roads worse in every way. I don't even know what to say at this point. Anyway, I'll leave you with more scenes of proper street design, the Amsterdam way.